Hello. You're watching Much Ado About Something today, and I'm Donna. And this is Donald.
Hello.
Me and Donald's been married for 42 years, and we've got a few stories to tell. So today we're going to tell you about the day. Donald gave me hypothermia.
Well, that was, let's see, 2012, 13. I obtained some tickets to the Bristol, Tennessee race.
Not just any
NASCAR race.
Front row tickets.
Yeah, we had front row. And so...
we got somebody to watch the kids.
Yeah.
And we hardly ever left our kids or anything when we were raising our children at home. They're all grown now. But we were not known for ever going away and doing anything together where we were a family most of the time. But Donald's workplace gave him these nice tickets, front row tickets at the Bristol race. And so we were going to use those tickets. And so my sister came down and her husband and stayed with our kids while we went to the races. Well, it was fine here.
Oh, yeah, the weather was nice. Sort of summer-like. So we headed on up towards Bristol. We run into rain. Got a little cooler. Closer we got, and then the temperature dropped and everything, but we did run into rain. And then when we got into Bristol, way before the race started, so we could find some place to park and go in, the rain turned into sleet. And so, not knowing if the race was going on, we was able to go on inside the race place and had us raincoats and stuff and waited, and they didn't know if it was going to cancel, and then it turned into freezing rain.
So here we were in our ponchos waiting to see if they called the race off or not, if they officially called it off or not. So we had those good tickets, and we had drove quite a while, and we didn't want to leave unless we had to, did we?
Oh, that's correct.
We were waiting to see, if the race was going to happen that day. Well, of course, we were excited because, front row tickets to this awesome race. It was going to be, we were really going to enjoy ourselves. And there were a few other people, I'd say about 10 or 15 other people scattered around the stadium waiting to see what the call would be made.
A lot of people camp out or they got rooms or something like that. We just went up over the race,
So we waited like 3 hours.
Yep.
Out in the freezing rain with a poncho.
Well, it kept raining, just kept getting colder.
Yeah, it did. It was getting colder. So I told Donald, I said, I just don't think I can sit out here any longer. And he said, I'm pretty sure they're going to call it off. You can't race in this. So we got up and we were leaving. We're kind of disappointed,
So what's this, a 3-hour drive? Or about a 3-hour drive?
Yeah. So we drove about 3 hours to get to Bristol. We sat there about 3 hours. We wanted to get there early, so we could get down there to our seats and not have to, give anybody a chance to sit in our seat. So we'd have to tell them to move. We wanted to get there early, and we were excited. But after sitting there about 3 hours and realizing, there's probably no way they could go except call it off.
They did call it off.
We decided we were leaving. So we get up and we're, slightly disappointed. I'm just chilled to the bone.
Oh, it was cold. We were wet,
So we get in Donald's truck to head, back home. We're going to head back home.
So we started out, getting that truck warm up. The truck's, the weather was getting worse.
And the truck never warmed up.
So we thought it was warming up. So I figured like the more I drove, it would warm up. So the sleet and the freezing rain turned to snow.
And the heater in the truck was not working. We've already sat out there in the elements for 3 hours or more. Get in the truck, think we're going to warm up, but the heater never come on. So it started sleeting, and
Well, it turned into snow. It was snowing.
it
But
was.
by the time we come back to the border, I mean, it was full blown snowstorm.
So Donald said, we better just get a room. We ain't gonna be able to make it
So
back.
we made it 2 hours in a wet, freezing, no heater in the truck, driving through the sleet and the freezing rain and the snow till we got back to the border. And then I thought, well,
Now I was raised in the Appalachians. I saw snow. Our house was really not insulated nor airtight. In fact, I've told you the story about in our bedroom, we would get under a pile of quilts and we'd wake up and there'd be little peaks of snow on our bed where the snow had come in beside of the crack of the chimney and it had snowed on our bed. So I'm used to the cold. You know, I've been through some cold times. I mean, having to throw your boots on and run outside and get firewood for the wood stove. And, you know, I grew up with the whole 9 yards where it was really cold. But I had never been so cold in my life. Later, talking about it, I told Donald, I believe I was
close to hypothermia.
I was so cold because there was nothing to go to get warm. Even if I'd have had some of those little hand warmers, I believe it would have helped me.
Yeah, but we didn't prepare for bad weather and snow.
Because when we left here, it wasn't snowing and they were not calling for it in Bristol.
No, it was sunny and it was nice.
And what month would you say this is?
I can't remember, you know.
It wasn't a month where you would be expecting snow.
No, it's whenever the race comes around with NASCAR. Yeah. I don't keep up with it no more.
Right. Well, we finally, there's some kind of event going on. So all of the motels and hotels and everything were just booked up. But Donald walked up and found us a room. He found us the honeymoon suite.
Well, I made it to that hotel and told the guy, I said, listen, you was already freezing about hypothermia, that I needed a room. The only thing I had left was honeymoon suite.
Yeah.
I thought, well, you didn't get to do anything at the race or spending. I thought, well, I'll take it, you know. So we got parked and everything, was getting out and trying to get going. I was trying to grab the bag or something out of the truck because we didn't have much.
So I get out of the truck and I'm going to run into the hotel because I'm freezing. Donald says, no, just wait a minute. I got to get a few things. Well, that was just all she wrote. I was already froze to death there. I was in hypothermia. I barely got into the room. I couldn't do nothing else.
Barely did, yeah. Yeah.
So we get up to the room and he says, all I could do, I thought I was laying on the bed. He said I was laying on the couch.
No, you laid on the couch and I was trying to run a tub of hot water, warm water, anything to get you in it, but you thought you was on the bed, you was on the couch.
I couldn't move.
I grabbed the blankets off the bed, whatever I could to cover you up, and then sat there for a little bit, and then you was out. And then you come back to,
and then he says,
you said you was hungry. They had some kind of restaurant down there.
Well, you said, come on, let's go down here and eat.
Yeah, they had a restaurant at the hotel because it was.
And what did I tell you?
Yeah, you couldn't move.
I couldn't move off there. Wherever I was laying, whether it was the couch or the bed, I can't remember. But I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. He had piled these blankets on me and I was getting warm and I could not move to save me. And I was hungry. But I don't think I even ate when you brought the food back.
No, I went and got the food and come. No, you was out of it.
Now, hindsight, when you think about it, we think, well, maybe I should have went to the hospital.
Well, you was out the rest of the night because you never did get up and eat or nothing.
No, I couldn't move. Not until the next day. I laid there until
you had all the blankets on the bed. I mean, on the couch. I just slept on the bed.
Yeah.
With no blankets. Well, there was a heater on in there, you know. I was trying to warm it up, trying to get you going.
I wonder why you didn't freeze to death like I did.
Well, once I got the heat going in the room, I was all right, you know.
But I wasn't all right.
Well, it snowed. It snowed all night, you know.
Yeah.
But then the next day, boom, there comes the sun. You waited till about mid-morning and all the highways and roads were melting pretty good, you know.
Yeah. And so I
was trying to figure out how we went through 4 seasons less than 36 hours, you know.
Yeah. Because it was a sunny period there. And then it got cloudy, and
normally it rains up there.
It turned into
if it
full
rains
blown
it out.
winter.
Yeah.
But I was fine the next day. I wouldn't say I was active, but I was able to get up and eat and move the next day.
Yeah, you was in turtle mode. Turtle mode, you know.
Yeah.
You was slow. You know, you didn't want no spring chicken.
But our trip, we hardly ever got to go anywhere or do anything like that. Time and budget and all kinds of constraints, kept us from doing it. But that one opportunity, we thought we were going to go see a race.
That was one of the opportunities. There was a couple more that you went on a venture with me, and it's been
a disaster.
No, I was that disaster. That was dramatic. We've had other dramatic trips.
yeah, we have.
Of course.
We'll tell those in the other stories, but we refer to this story as the time Donald gave me hypothermia.
I gave you hypothermia.
Yeah, because if I feel
my heater on my truck didn't work, and come to find out, the cabin filter and filters were stopped up from working on the jobs.
Yeah, so we had no heat. All the way home, we didn't have any heat.
Well, we didn't need no heat going up there.
I know. Sat out there in the elements. And we wasn't moving. I think if we'd been moving like growing up, you're out there, you're chopping wood or feeding animals or, you're moving. But we were just sitting there. And I think that's one of the reasons the cold got to me like it did.
Well, we got wet too. I mean, we was wet a little bit.
Wet and cold.
But the temperature kept dropping,
Yeah. So now whenever that comes out.
Now whenever it snows or freezes rain, she won't go nowhere.
No, I just leave him out there and say, I'm going in.
You just stay where you're at and say bye.
Yeah.
Go over there.
I don't let it get to that point no more. I'm not freezing to death anymore. But I believe that's the coldest I've ever been in my life for sure. It was an adventure. It, whatever don't kill you makes you stronger, right?
I guess so, yeah.
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 But I think he realized he's used to me being a strong woman. Are you used to that?
Strong what? Yeah.
Enduring elements, hanging in there with you, working with you.
To a point, yeah. Older we get, we can't hang as long.
Yeah. But if I tell you something, is it usually true? Do I exaggerate?
It's usually true.
Yeah. So if I say I've got 5 gallons of chicken wings in the back of the truck,
yeah,
then I have 5 gallons of chicken wings in the back of the truck.
Well, that was when you were,
That was a different story. But
when you say you're hypothermia, then I guess you're hypothermia.
Yeah, if I'm freezing to death, then pretty much I probably am freezing to death. I don't exaggerate. I just kind of tell it how it is.
I guess.
And over the years, he's learned to trust me. But that day, he was just wanting me to stand out there a little bit longer while he dug through the truck. I feel like
I can't remember what I was digging for. I was trying to get something.
I feel like if he'd have let me just run on in, I might not have been as cold. I might not have went as far. But anyway, it's over. We lived through it. Now we've got a story to tell. And we've got other stories to tell, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny. There's some funny things happened in 42 years. What was that you said before the beginning of the thing?
Oh, I don't know.
Some stories you can share and some you can't.
Oh, yeah. Some you can.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been cold, but I wasn't as cold as you was that day.
Well, I think you've been you probably hunted. You almost froze to death.
No, when we went when we went hunting,
yeah,
and the weather predicted it wasn't going to get down to 30-some degrees. That was about the coldest I've been in a long time when we camped to go hunting, and the temperature dropped down to 16.
And you didn't have the right tent or sleeping
We didn't
bag.
have the right tent and the right apparel to keep warm, or sleeping bags or nothing. With the rest of the other guys with me, they bundled up in anything they could. But I made it till 4 o'clock that morning, and then I had to go warm the truck up. I had to get warm before I can get back into the woods.
Yeah.
Because it was cold. It was cold. But it's a different time there, Not hypothermia time, but it was cold.
Yeah.
You know.
Those things, it's good to get cold. Like take a polar plunge and get cold and then jump out. It's good for your
I
brain.
don't know about that. That sounds like a heart attack waiting to happen.
Well, I think it's good for you. They say it's really good for your brain to do that, to take an ice plunge, to get cold every now and then.
Shock therapy. What they need to do is go hunting in the wintertime.
Yeah, well, it's just
Get
good.
cold. You get shock therapy.
It's good. It's good to get cold, but it's not good to get cold and stay cold and not be able to get warm. That's a very dangerous situation. But of course, I lived. I'm here. We got back. It wasn't the trip we expected it to be. We didn't. We can't say we had a lot of fun.
No, we didn't. We was planning on having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it didn't turn out that way.
No. And we got to stay in a honeymoon suite. And I couldn't.
Well, I remember it. You don't remember it.
No, I don't. I was so cold and just to be there. I couldn't move. I didn't get up to use the bathroom. I didn't get up for nothing, not
out.
to eat.
You was
Normally, I'd have had a warm cup of tea or a hot cup of soup, and of course that would have helped me. But I wasn't even able to sit up and even drink a cup of soup. It was a very strange experience.
Strange. More dramatic for you.
Yeah, it was dramatic. We were trying to go and have a good time, but hey, we lived through it. Now we got a story to tell.
Yeah, we did.
And we've got more stories to tell. Me and Donald, I'm going to try to talk him into telling one of our stories with me at least once a week.
Once a week. We ain't got that many.
We got quite a few.
I think that was pretty dramatic there, but I think when you went with me, hurricane, that was.
Oh yeah.
That was
He
something.
drug me out in a hurricane.
I didn't drag you out in it. I drove you through one.
Yeah. He had to go check on a property.
But we'll tell that.
Yeah,
story.
that's a whole different story. And that also ends up with me on the couch.
Traumatized.
Traumatized.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's another story for another day. Thank y'all for joining us and letting us tell you our story. And I hope you come back, and we're going to try to tell a story at least once a week if we can. With his time schedule, it'll be harder. I can make videos and things more consistently, but to have Donald here and able in the peace and quiet where we can tell a story, that's a pretty unusual thing. But I'm going to try to do it. We're going to try to do it once a week until we get some of these stories told to you. We hope you enjoy them as much as we enjoy at least telling them. Thank you for joining us today. And like always, until next time.